Hello, welcome back to Elephant in the Room number 3. I'm very excited to come back today with Mr. Tristan Turner. He's a musician. And what type of music do you do?
Hip hop, R&B, shit like that.
So like an August Alsina type of thing.
Yeah.
All right. When did you drop your last video? Music. When did your last song come out?
I dropped 2 singles on iTunes. I think that was probably like 2 months ago. Call on Me and So Fast. That's on like all platforms, and then like the major like visual I last did was No Hope. That was in November.
All right. Well, he actually brought us a clip over, and we're going to drop it for you right now. All right. Thank you. We're back again. All right, man. So I'm glad to have you on the show. I wanted to ask you a couple of things. What's the hardest thing about actually getting into music? What's the first wall that you hit as a musician trying to get into the game?
Consistency. Like you say, people say they love to do it, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it turns into work at some point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's everything. That's everything, though. Anything that you really want to do in life, you enjoy, you gotta have to put the work into it. But hopefully, you can enjoy yourself doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I'm not the type. Like I like putting my feelings out and shit like that I'm going through in the songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit like that. But other than that, like it's still sometimes I don't even want to do music.
Yeah.
You got to. You know what I mean?
It's
I
nice.
don't even want to record sometimes. But I do. You feel me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's the hardest part about doing videos? Like when you're trying to do a music video, what's the hard part about getting everything like right?
Just getting the money for it.
Money? Oh yeah. I guess
Straight
that's
off the get.
everything.
Like you have to get the money for that shit because, like you know what I mean. You can't just shoot like nowadays you can. Like if you're smart enough, you can shoot music videos with like your phones and shit like that, and
right.
send it to be edited. That's cheaper and shit like that. But most part, you know what I mean. It's money for it. Like once if you get a good like videographer and shit, they'll like walk you through that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean, on how to do it, and it'll come out good. Like No Hope was my first video
right.
that I did, and that was like by 720 Films, and that shit turned out good. And like that was the first one ever I even like stepped in.
Yeah, so that's something I hear a lot of people. Because I'm trying to get other musicians on the show. I'm trying to have something on that does music at least like once a week. You know what I mean? So I've been talking to a bunch of other musicians. They said that's like the hard part. You know what I mean? Getting like a good music video out to be able to get like nice views and let people know who you are and everything like that. All right. Where do you plan on going from here? Like, are you planning on staying in Pennsylvania to like live? Or are you gonna like move somewhere music is a little easier to produce?
I got like plugs that can get the music out. Like that's the deal.
Yeah.
Like so I can stay here if I want to. Like it's just people around here. Like no one really supports. Like you go to Harrisburg, you'll be surprised. You get a lot more support for shit in Harrisburg than you do around here.
Right.
Like people around here, they don't even fuck with shit. Like you have the people that'll be like, yeah, dude, I fuck with this, I fuck with that, but they don't really listen to it. They don't bump your shit. You know what I mean? They don't.
Yeah.
They'll say they do.
No, I absolutely understand that. I get a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm absolutely gonna watch it. Never
not
really
even
get
like
the time.
not even saying they're gonna watch it. Just like they'll comment on your posts and shit and be like, dude, that shit's fire. But like when it drops, they'll never stream it. They'll never shout it out. They'll never do nothing. So like,
okay.
How are you supporting something?
Yeah.
Like I mean, it takes 2 seconds to share something.
Right. No, absolutely.
2 seconds.
Especially when you're first starting doing music.
The thing is, people just don't want to share nothing. Don't want to do anything unless there's something in it for them.
Right. No,
yeah,
absolutely.
So like, it's more or less getting my music out to like places that'll take it.
So how do you plan on getting your music to like California? How do you plan on like getting it out to them type of people or like Europe and stuff like that?
Surprisingly, like dude, whenever I first started dropping on iTunes and shit like that, like I have UK because of the official Lau. He went over there, Worldwide Lau. He went over there to the UK and did a whole bunch of shit with our song No Hope. And so like now even on my iTunes, like my streaming shit, my marketing shit, I can see the streams and shit from UK, from like Georgia, a whole bunch of places, like places I wouldn't even know my music is.
Right.
You feel me? But I don't know, to get it over there, it's more or less like there's plugs for that shit. Like not necessarily like, you know what I mean, you got your plugs for the drugs, but you got your plugs for the music, you know what I mean?
Right.
Other people that is gonna like reach out and do that. Like, you can't get anywhere without management, but in order to get management, you have to have, like, substance, something that they see they can make money off of, which is sad, but,
Right.
you know what I mean, you have to have something there. And then after that, you go to, like, they'll take you, and they're the ones that have the connections, you know what I mean, the connects to get into, like, record labels, shit like that, all of that shit.
Have you ever thought about going to like college campuses or anything like that and trying to get into like see if they have any musical shows that you could get in?
Nah, I haven't even done that. I heard about some like thing. I went to like Best Buy to get some mic or some piece or some shit, and some kid told me about some shit where this college like lets you come in and record your music there because they have like a fucking $50,000 studio.
Yeah, that's
Like,
awesome though.
And I was like, I still haven't. Like I was like, oh yeah, like talking to him and shit like that. But then I was like, damn. Like when I left, I was like, shit. I didn't even really listen to what that kid said. Like now I don't even know where this place is. So like now I gotta try to go back to Best Buy.
It's
You know
around
what I
now.
mean?
It's around. You probably wouldn't even have to go on Best Buy if you search around on the internet hard enough. Even if it's
I was
not that
looking.
one,
I was
you'll
looking.
find stuff. You know what I mean? Probably the biggest problem is going to be like travel. Because you're going to have to be able to get around and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I could do that.
I already figure. I already know. All right. Let me see. What else did I want to ask? I had another question in mind for you about your music. I really wanted to know. I don't know. I do not know. Have you ever thought about going like what do they call it? Cross genre? Like I know you heard the new
You
Old
can't
Town
really-
Road song and
You
stuff
can't
like
really
that.
do that. Like I mean, if that's the genre you're gonna want to stick,
Yeah.
like the lane, like you can't really.
I don't know, man. First couple of songs I heard about like Bruno Mars were all really different. I don't think there's really anything wrong with
Oh no! Once you're in the game,
that. Yeah.
you can switch up as many times as
That's
you
true.
want.
That's true. That's
You
true.
can go whichever way your fans are gonna ride, bro.
Right.
And that's just like, now I mean, some of them will be like, nah, I don't fuck with this shit. But some of them will be like, you know, this is just a new wave. This shit's hard. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You'll always have those fans that are gonna die with you. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like not die with you, but like
I get what
ride,
you're saying.
ride.
Yeah,
you feel
yeah.
me? So, all of that, all that shit, like plays a role. Like, fucking. When you're blowing up, you gotta sound different. Like, you gotta sound different.
You gotta have your own thing. Do you have any like inspirations that like you take and like you can not incorporate into your music, but that like you grew up on? You know what I mean? Because everyone grows up on music and shit. Do you have any inspirations in like the rap game or the R&B game or anything like that that helps you come up with ideas for your music?
I like a lot of Meek Mill shit, and it's not like for what most people would think. Like I just like the way that he portrays his perception of what's happened in his life in his raps, like so clean.
Yeah.
You feel me? So precise. The delivery on that shit is key. You feel me?
Yeah.
On his bars, like you feel that shit, like gives you goosebumps, and that's why for me, real music gives me goosebumps. Like I hear the fucking bars, like
Yeah.
that shit gives me legit goosebumps.
I mean,
And that's like good music.
I like me, but not like that. But I don't know.
Like
can't,
I don't like. I'm
see
not
it.
talking about his old shit where he's like deep, like braided up. You know what I mean? Deep.
Yeah.
I'm talking about his new shit where you can tell his intellect is like changed to where he's on the new shit. Like talking about it ain't cool to get into fucking.
I mean, you kind of got to do that once you get to a certain
Yeah,
point.
it
You gotta
ain't.
reach
It
all
ain't
audiences.
cool. It ain't cool to be in jail. It ain't cool to be doing all that shit. You know what I mean?
Who the fuck wants to be in jail?
Getting money is the new wave, and
Absolutely.
like you know what I mean. Money is power. So
And I try to tell people all the time, like, there's no reason to be out here robbing people and shit. If people will give you the money, because if you really look back on all the big time criminals, motherfuckers ain't out here robbing people for billions of dollars. You get them to give them to you. You get them to give it to you, and then they get mad at you for whatever fucking reason, and then they
Yeah.
want their money back. But at the end of the day, they ain't have to give you the money in the first place. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's why that white dude that was up in New York got all them old people, because went for not like a select group of people. And then he took advantage of all of them and got away with that shit. Not got away with it. He obviously went to jail and shit, but he got so much money, so many randomly millions of dollars over just doing this. He said, "All right, you give me your money. I'm gonna invest it in blah blah corp. All right, and you tell your friends in 6 months, everything like that. I'm gonna give you a 25% return on your money. So I'll give you all your money back plus 25% of it. If you let me use your money to invest, and I'll keep the other 25% of the rest of the money, the rest of the profit for myself. I'll give you, 25% of whatever you threw into it, and you go get whole nursing homes like that. Like go around, talk to everyone in the joint, and once the 6 months come, he would use the next person's payment to pay back the first person. And then he would talk them into investing more money, which, I mean, why wouldn't you? If you gave an investment to somebody and they came back before they say it's time, they were going to come back and give you your money plus the 25%. Ain't no reason not to trust him at that point.
Isn't that technically he's still in the hole though all the time?
He's always in the hole, yes, but this is the thing. He'll get the person that he invested with the first time to invest again with more money. Like, say you invested $1,000, I give you $1,250 back. You're like, well, that's not that huge of a return, but I'm like, if you give me $10,000, I give you a 60% return. That's enticing, right? Now you're looking at another $6,000 on top of your investment. That's a good deal. So people would think. So he would be in the hole, but that's the whole point of the scheme. He'd be in the hole to all these people, but he'd never really, you know what I mean? He would just keep pulling in more people, because if I give you the $10,000 back with another $6,000 on top of it now you're going to be telling your friends about it at this point, right? Like, man, I know this guy. He's taking this money and he's making money for me. It's super easy. All you got to do is give him some money and sit home, wait for the investment to turn in. It comes right back on time every time. Would you invest now if I just told you I made $6,000 from this guy?
Because reality, they are making that money.
For so long. The problem is you can only bring in so many customers. There's always going to be a roof that you're going to hit, because you're only going to be able to get so many people like that. And once you have 10,000 people that you owe money and you only bring in 1,000 more customers that month, that's when you fuck up. That's when you lose your whole empire crashes in on itself, because that's the point when you take your money and leave.
You can't maintain.
Yeah, and that's when he took his money and left. He just disappeared. He had all of these thousands of people with thousands of money given to him, and he just stopped answering calls. Yeah, thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, he had I think he made $1 billion doing that shit, dude. He got a lot of people. Because, I mean, it's a horrible scheme, but, if you're thinking about schemes, that's a good-ass scheme. That's crazy, you know what I mean? So, like I said, once he got to the top of the bucket, he said, all right, man, I'm tired. Time for me to go. Moved a bunch of money into different accounts and shit. They didn't even get it all back. They didn't get all that money back. They got most of it back. But, all right, so let me ask you like this. I mean, did you vote? Are you gonna vote? Who are you thinking about voting for?
I don't know if I'm gonna vote. I haven't voted.
Have you got a chance to look at any of the candidates?
Michelle Obama, right?
God, I hope not. No, I didn't see Michelle Obama. There's Kamala Harris. I think that's how you say it. Kamala. I don't know. I've watched it a couple times. That's the black chick. They got this other chick from Hawaii. It's named Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, that's
Bernie
that
Sanders
one.
is alright.
Bernie's a good dude. He's one of the front runners right now. It's him, that old, not trying to be racist motherfucker. What's his name? God damn it. I'm so bad with names, dude. It's horrible.
Not trying to be racist.
Yeah, he's one of them. He's like Hillary. You know what I mean? And then you got Elizabeth Warren. She's pretty interesting, though. Those are the top threes. Bernie, the dude that was already vice president. I cannot remember his fucking name right now for the life of me. Joe Biden. That's exactly who it is. Those are the front three. Biden, Bernie, and
was
Miss Warren.
Rock's VP.
Yeah. He wasn't the greatest, but he wasn't the worst. I don't know. I don't like him as much as I like Bernie.
I feel like if Trump gets out of office, I feel like it's gonna cause problems.
I really hope it doesn't, but he needs to get out of office, man. He's a man-child. I'm not a fan of him. I don't like anyone that acts like that in real life. What type of fucking people do I want to act like that in real life? Out here fucking tweeting all types of bullshit and all that other shit. And then at the same time, I don't know. I'd rather have Bernie. I like Bernie. If he can stay in the top three the whole way through and get up to the last, I'll vote for Bernie in a heartbeat, especially over Trump. Now, the biggest thing people got to remember is all these Democratic candidates and this, that, and the third, they still have to beat Trump at the end of the day. They all got to beat each other and da-da-da-da-da. But the Republicans got their guy. The Trump is their guy. They fucking fuck with Trump. They don't give a shit. So, I'll let him rock. Hopefully, at least, 51% of the country is not a fan of Trump as much as I think he is. You know what I mean? But we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. What else was I gonna say? This is something I like to ask everybody that comes on the program, podcast, whatever the fuck you want to call this thing. Everyone that comes on there, what do you think is the greatest problem in America right now, in this time? Drugs. That's a good one. I can't like disagree with that one. It's not many people. Why do you say drugs?
Dude, heroin and shit's everywhere. Like Suboxone, heroin. People are like on the opiates, bro.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. And it's bad, man. The people that
It's
made
really
OxyContin, they got all of this shit popping off with the pharmaceuticals. They don't give shit. They don't give a fuck. 'Cause they're the same people that made methadone, so they eat off both sides of
for
it.
real.
You
But
know what
like,
I mean?
dude, it's just bad, bro. It's bad. Like I see so many people affected by subs.
Why do you think that people are so drawn to drugs nowadays? Why do you think that we have such a problem with people doing drugs?
I don't know. Like honestly, I just don't know because I don't have like the addictive personality mindset. Like I don't have that thing where I like I need this, I need that. Like I don't have that. So it's like weird for me. But I feel as if like part of it's enablement from like people around them,
Yeah.
and that's one. And two is because motherfuckers want to do it. They want to do it. Like it's not necessarily.
But that's the question. That's what I'm asking you. Is why do you think that people want to do it? Why do you think that people want to get high so bad nowadays? And why do you think it's
Because they high and they ain't thinking about nothing else, which is
Yeah.
probably a one for
Yeah.
them. But that's true. Like they ain't thinking about nothing else. They escape from their problems for that. So how many hours, whatever, however long the high varies or lasts. You feel me?
Right.
They escape. So say reality in their head, but they're in reality just fucked up.
Do you think it has anything to do with social media and the rise of social media?
Bullying, maybe.
Just doing drugs, like people wanting to get high.
People, yeah, somewhat from like Instagram, shit like that. Just people promoting certain shit, like you feel me?
You think it's
How
you
that
think it's
works.
from the stress of all of it? Just like the whole stress of social media and knowing that people know what you're doing almost all the time now. Losing privacy more and more.
I
and
don't
more.
know.
No, you don't think that
I
might be
don't-
it? I think
I
that
don't-
might be it.
I don't think that's it, really. I think it's more or less fucking.
I think social media is stressful, man. I like as much as people want to act like it's all laughs and giggles and it's everything's all good and people just acting like their lives are perfect. And I think it's just stressful. I think it's something that people try to uphold way more than they really should. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, I agree with you on that point. I just don't. I
And
don't
plus, there's so much negativity on there all the time. Even if you're streaming through your line, there's
Yeah,
at
but not
least one
everybody.
person
At
every
least
single
one
day
person,
that's going to
but-
be pissed off on your timeline.
Yeah, but that's not one person that turns to drugs every day.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like
So
that
like,
one person, that one day might turn into 6 days, and then everyone on their shit might be like, "Well, stop being a little bitch," and then they're like, "Oh." Like,
I feel you. I just feel.
I don't know. I don't do heavy drugs like that. Like I can't
neither
really.
do I just don't. My mom, like I see my mom do that shit.
Oh yeah, man. I had my best friend was doing fucking heroin at like 15, dude. It was horrible, but I can't. I didn't do heroin. Like the whole time I hung out with him, I didn't do it. And it was like kind of weird for me. I got him off, like not off, but
Yeah.
way down a couple times. But it's something you got to get off yourself. He's actually clean now. He's down in Florida with a chick. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him.
That's what like my mom's clean now, so to speak. Like,
Yeah.
she turns to alcohol now, though. So
Why
it's
do
a
you
little
think
different.
that it's more socially acceptable, at least in people's minds, at least in people that are on drugs' minds, to be on Suboxone for 3 years than to be on heroin for 6 months?
Well, with Suboxone, usually if you're on subs, it's usually strips if it's in the street.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got, and it's usually like subs come in like fucking kind of packaged a little, like you can tell it's a sub. You know what I mean? It has it's like orange, whatever, fucking 8 milligram like strips. They look like Listerine strips.
Right.
Strips of subs, and then you have Subutex, which is like the pills. And I don't do any of this shit for the record, like anything like that.
Yeah.
But like I just have a close friend that. I don't even know if you want to call him close friend, but like an acquaintance that they're going through shit. They've been going through shit for years. Like I know everything because like of all the drama. But
Yeah.
fucking the Subutex is like from the government. That's from like people going into those programs and shit. That's like down in fucking Harrisburg, wherever the fuck they are.
Keep going. I'm gonna check my camera. Make sure.
It's for like shit like that. But most people, that's what they're doing now. Like they'll go in. You can say you relapsed off of heroin, right? Relapsed on whatever,
Yeah.
and whatever type of opiate, and they'll put you on a fucking prescription for
Yeah, which is
however
ridiculous
long.
for me. But that's the question I'm asked. That's what gets to me is like, why do people
Because it
It's
is
not.
better.
It's not something. It's not better. There's nothing better about it, man. Like I've seen people on Suboxone for more than 6 months. That shit eats you.
No, I
Eats
see.
you.
No, it eats you. No. Don't get me wrong. Like this is what I'm saying. Whenever you do Suboxone, it destroys the serotonin
Yeah.
in your brain. Destroys it.
Yeah.
Subutex starts to bring it back.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily go burnt. Your looks and everything go to shit. You
Yeah.
feel me? Teeth, muscle mass, everything that you're trying to accomplish, everything that should be right with your body is not good. But you don't have that thing where you don't feel no more.
When you're on Suboxone, if you get off of heroin on a Suboxone, you don't get sick going from heroin to Suboxone, right? It keeps you from getting sick. Do you know? Well, I'm not gonna have you comment if you don't know for sure. 'Cause
I don't know
I'm
for
asking.
sure, but I would think my opinion is it curves it.
Curves the sickness, right? Because I
It
know when
curves
people
it.
get off Suboxone for a long amount of time, they have horrible
Oh, and that's
sickness.
the
They get
thing.
bad.
That's the thing they don't want to do either. They don't necessarily. That's why I know because my mom's told me from experience. You don't necessarily do it for the high.
Yeah.
You do it so that way you're not sick because you'll be sick for days.
Oh,
on end.
days.
They don't want to go through that. That's the thing. If they go through that and they get over it, once they get past that sickness, my mom told me it's your sheer will.
Yeah,
At that
after that,
point,
just to
like
not
if
get
you
high.
not to get high. You
Yeah.
don't want to get high.
Yeah.
That's it. If you that's why I'm saying that's the killer right there because so many people have gotten through, and you got to think that's how people overdose. So many people have gotten through the fucking phase where they're sick and they're clean, and then they relapse, and that's when they die because they shoot too much.
That's the one thing I never understood is if you went through the sickness, you went through the whole. Now I get getting high, I get it, but if you went through the whole sickness from that drug,
And you're good.
you're good. You
You're
were sick
clean,
for 2 weeks. You
technically.
get sick for like 10 days.
Yeah, you're technically clean though from the time you're not sick.
After that, why would you want to risk getting sick again? Just risk getting sick again, not let alone dying from shooting something up or overdose or anything like
Like
that.
I put this on everything. Like I smoke weed, marijuana. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's nights where like times for like drug tests for jobs and shit like that where I shouldn't have smoked,
Right.
but I did. You feel me?
Mhm.
I may have passed, I may have failed. You know what I mean? Either or. There's multiple ones. You know what I mean? But I still smoked. So if that's the case, why did I do it? Because I wanted to.
That's a little different though. It's a little different.
It's kinda-
Smoking weed.
Smoking weed? No, it's a
before
different
you got
drug.
a job.
It's a different
no,
drug.
let me finish for a second. Smoking weed before you have a piss test for probation or some job or something else like that is not the same as injecting yourself with something that you
Oh,
know
yeah.
might kill you that day. This might be the shot right here. And like my boy used to tell me, like, man, I don't know. Every time I do it, there's always that possibility. Like I used to watch his dad shoot up in his neck.
Yeah,
That
for
shit
real. I
was
watched my mom
ridiculous.
shoot up and shit like that when I was in my age when I was younger. But it's I honestly I just feel like I swear to God I feel like it's because they want to get high. You know what I mean? It's they want to get high.
Yeah.
They got away. They got away from it because they don't want to be sick and they don't want to be addicted to it no more. But then they get away from it and then they're facing the problems that they faced whenever they were getting addicted to it. Whenever they were, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about learning how to like fix your problems and channel your shit differently. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like a lot of rehabilitations try to do is try to like get them to reroute their thinking. Like, yo, when you got problems, when you got shit, you don't know how to turn to this shit.
Yeah.
And
there's
if it
some
works,
other ways.
if it works, you know what I mean? Then they come out changed and clean. You know what I mean? They're good. They live life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If it don't work, then when they're clean, they're right back there at square one where they're like, here's these problems I'm faced with, all these stresses. Like, because most times you're on drugs, you come out of rehab, you don't have a house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not living good unless you're rich or wealthy. You know what I mean? You go to rehab on your own.
Right.
But then you get out, you're like, oh man, now I gotta get a job, now I gotta save for an apartment, now I gotta do this. You're faced with all this shit that you look at and you're like, it's impossible. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's impossible.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. You said you weren't sure if you were going to vote this year coming up.
No, I'm not sure.
Why do you think that's more and more common for people 18 to 25? For people not to want to vote or not to think it's important enough to look into.
Because people aren't fully educated and they feel as if their vote doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But they're not fully educated. Like right now, I'm not even about to say I'm fully educated on voting because technically, like I know a little bit of shit, but me as myself, I'm one of those that don't feel like my vote means anything. But
Yeah.
therefore,
I know a lot of
I
people
might
like
not. I might not know the full gist
Right.
of how everything rolls down. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. No, I get that. Because, like, I want to vote, and I still don't know. Like, I don't know if my vote means anything, but I know if, let me put it to you like this. I know even with the Electoral College, if we vote 60% of the whole country votes for not Trump, whoever the fuck, just not Trump, they can't really go against that. Because after that point, if 60% of the popular vote, 60 real percent of the popular vote goes to fucking anyone but Trump, and they're going against that, then like, I don't know how people are going to stand for it. I don't know how people wouldn't, because I feel disrespecting the last one. Trump lost the public vote, the popular vote, my bad, and won the Electoral College, and people didn't really say too much about it. Like, it's not the biggest deal in the world. To me, that's fucked up. That's the worst type of shit in the world. Like, why the fuck wouldn't that? That's right there is why people don't feel like their vote matters. Now, granted, it was only by a couple percent. If we have it by like fucking 50, 60%, boom, like 60, 70% over the over Trump. Like, I don't see how they couldn't. You know what I mean? But all them percentages.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It trickles down. Like, you got some states, the Electoral College is 50 votes. You got some states that are like 2.
Mm-hmm.
So if they win the popular vote, say they won the popular vote with a state like Rhode Island, that's only like 2 or 4 electoral votes, and they lost, but they got most of the states that have a lot of the electoral votes. That could be the
The thing you got to remember though is like most states are blue or red. You know what I mean? And whenever, it doesn't really matter who's running. You can just look back through the last like 10 elections and see what states are blue and what states are red. And then there's the swing states, which are the ones that you always hear about them arguing about. So Ohio, Pennsylvania, blah 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 blah. So they're always going about trying to go hardest in the swing states because that's where they have the least support from their political party. If you get what I mean, you know what I mean?
oh shit.
You good? Everything I want to talk about. Anything you need to express to the world? Anything you want to ask me about?
Why you doing all this podcast shit?
Oh man, I don't know. I like hearing people's truths.
Truths,
man. You know, people. Everyone's truth's a little different. Everyone came from a different walk of life. Everyone was born somewhere different with a different amount of money in their parents' bank accounts and different toys in their crib. You know what I mean? And I like hearing what people talk about. Like, I got a guy coming in next after you. Not necessary. But I'd love to talk to a cop about their side. Let me know what you're thinking. What do you think's going on? Why is shit going the side way it is? Like, what could we do? What could police do better? You know what I mean?
I
What
just
do y'all
think,
think?
I think police have way too much power than they not even saying they do have way too much, they abuse their power way too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting to the point where they can just look at him, they can literally come up to your car and just be like, I smell weed.
Yeah.
Even if they don't smell weed.
Even if they
I
don't.
smell weed. Because you look like you.
Yeah.
Or I look like me.
Oh, every time I get pulled over, they search my car, man. I got dreads and tattoos to my knuckles. Like, they're coming for me. But I
I smell weed.
don't worry about it.
You know what I mean? It is what it is, though. It is what it is at the end of the day now.
Yeah, I can't let that type of shit
Like,
get to me too much.
unless you get so many people that's trying to rally for something, no one's going to do anything. And, like, it's all about, people are making it about race, honestly.
Right.
And, honestly, I do feel like the blacks are a little bit more aimed at. I do.
Yeah.
I do feel like that because blacks
So
are
Muslims
involved.
more than anything now. I mean, blacks get hit a lot. Blacks get
You get put
over
in
for no
because
reason.
they're put in situations like in these cities where they have to fucking thrive off of each other
Yeah.
to fucking survive
Yeah.
instead of getting good jobs that are fucking maintainable.
I think that's one of the problems, though. Is I think
Like they
think there's something that goes through. Like, I don't know. A lot of black people I know, they just don't want to work for people their whole life, and I understand that. I absolutely understand that. But at the same time, like, people got to realize you can't just go from 0 to 100. You know what I mean? In America, at least, in the real world. And then, like, there's no point being out here robbing people and doing all this other third. Like, it might not be easy. You might have to work a couple jobs that you fucking hate to get the job that you want. But it's possible. You know what I mean?
But people don't want to do
like,
that as
nobody
well.
wants to go to college either. Nobody wants to go to college and get the paperwork to make them look better on paper than the next man. You know what I mean? That's something that other kids are just way more willing to do, suburban kids. You know what I mean?
But like that's how I feel like it is, but I don't feel like cops should be able to like stop you without a reason, like a legitimate reason, and like I don't feel like they shouldn't be able to shut off their body cameras.
No,
Not at all.
Body cameras on all
Like,
the time.
they
I
shouldn't.
also feel like they shouldn't have shotguns and all that type
Yeah,
of crazy
cops,
shit in their
cops
cars.
are
I don't
hanging
feel like it's
themselves now
necessary.
though, like because there's so many. I believe there's laws being passed about body cameras being on at all times or whatever, but they're being caught slipping.
Yeah.
Because like there was just a video that surfaced on YouTube, it was on like the front fucking page, you know what I mean, on the home thing that said cop gets busted for planting evidence, and the fucking cop doesn't have audio on, but the video starts, but the audio is delayed because it doesn't start like it said. It said in the video, audio doesn't start. For
I just
10
saw
seconds.
this one video the other day, man. Dude got pulled over and pulled his phone out like immediately, and the cops couldn't really get him for what they wanted to get him for, like originally, because he wasn't breaking the law. So they really took his phone and was sitting there talking in front of the fucking camera on the phone, like, no, we're gonna get this little motherfucker or something. I can't get him for. What can we get him for? Fucking trespassing, maybe. Da 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 da. Disturbing the peace, some other bullshit. They're like, yeah, let's get him. And they went over and just arrested this motherfucker. He had the whole thing on camera on his phone.
Yeah, dude, that's what it was for this one. Like, the guy turned his body camera on. They and when it turned on, you could see the dude that was already sitting in the back, and you could see the cop. He pulled something out of his vest, and it's a bag of pills, of clear capsules with shit in it.
Yeah.
And he's like shaking them around, and he's like looking at his buddy. He's like, and then then the audio cuts on, and you hear him laughing. He's like, I'm gonna go check over here again, guys. And the one cop starts laughing, and he goes over, and you see him, and he fucking puts the drugs in there and flips it, and you literally see it clear as day. Puts them in this can and flips the can upside down, moves something on top of it, keeps. Then he goes like this, checks his body camera like this. You can see he pulls it up, and then he goes back down. And he starts looking around and shit like that, because he didn't think he turned it on already. And he fucking looking around, and next thing you know, boop, there it is. He dumps it out, and there it was. And he's like, "Hey guys, I got something." And like walk back over. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
like
people
damn.
are slimy, but that's. I think it's just. I don't think the. How do I say that? I don't think the qualifications are very extreme to be a cop either. Like me personally, I think if we have as many lawyers as we do, and all of them motherfuckers pass the bar, I think you should have to be able to be a cop. I think you should have to pass the bar too. Like it shouldn't be the situation we have now where cops can arrest you and then they have to go look up what they're charging you with. You know, do you get what I'm saying? Like you get all these charges after the fact because they're like, oh, well, you were doing this. How did you not know that from the door? How is it your job to know the laws to protect people and doing this all this shit, and you don't even know what fucking laws you're supposed to be protecting? You know, it makes no fucking sense to me.
No.
It's ridiculous.
I feel you. No. Definitely.
But all right, man. I appreciate you coming over. What's your IG? All that stuff out there. You can pop
Tristan
yourself
Turner
in there.
Official on Instagram. That's pretty much the only platform I'll be pushing on. Like Tristan Turner on iTunes, Spotify, all that. But
You got a YouTube?
Tristan Turner Official. I think it's Tristan Turner under Distro Kid, but you gotta look it up. It's like a topic, and it says Tristan Turner, and it pops up with 2 singles.
Awesome. All right. Well, there you go, Tristan Turner. I'm gonna have a Facebook, YouTube. I should have all my Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and all that stuff up tonight. Obviously, I have my YouTube now. You can obviously follow me and stuff on here. But yeah, I appreciate you coming over. Thanks again, man. Good luck with your music career.
For real. Comment, subscribe, like. Share
Absolutely. Make sure you subscribe, like it, hit the bell so you have all of the latest notifications. We're gonna have if you have any musicians watching, you want to come on the show, drop me a like, drop me a comment, maybe I'll get a hold of you. All right. Appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you. Bye.